We all know who Michel Barnier is, the guy who's been leading the Brexit negotiations on behalf of the EU for the past few years. The first half, he was quite successful because he managed to create this trap for Theresa May and her government. But since Boris Johnson and David Frost have taken the lead, Michel Barnier is struggling. Now, the Commission and the rest of the European Council have decided to sideline him, take away some of his powers, and they want the actual European leaders to intervene because he's not doing a good job. And to be fair, he started it. He started going around a couple of weeks ago begging the European leaders, prime ministers and presidents to get involved. But now von der Leyen is going to make a speech next week to actually confirm that they're going to get involved directly. This is according to the Telegraph. They're talking about how the chief negotiator Barnier is set to be sidelined by the EU leaders in a bid to get a breakthrough in the negotiations about a trade treaty with the UK. Now, obviously, all 27 countries, they have their own leaders, and the issue with this is that if you think this is a good idea for the EU, it's not. This is the one time that harmonization and centralization would work better than getting 27 different countries with different cultures and different requirements. And that also includes countries like Hungary, who are going to be causing trouble for the rest of the European Commission. So good luck with that, guys. And then you have the situation where obviously the reports are coming out that number 10 are considering the options, and they say that we only have 30% chance of getting a deal and we don't care. And this is the whole point of David Frost saying that he's preparing for no deal Brexit. Now, Michel Barnier himself is in trouble because he's basically admitted that Brexit will destroy the EU. The New European, this beloved pro-EU newspaper, which is not a real newspaper, has said that Michel Barnier has said that he will never yield to Brexiteers attempting to destroy the European Union. And this is the best line of the article. And in this video, obviously, we have our Sunday contributor, Andre Walker, which I'm going to introduce in a minute. But this is the best paragraph. I'm going to read this, then I'm going to get Andre's perspective on this. If Michel Barnier didn't exist, the Brexiteers would have to invent him. Not that they are short of European people to identify as the cause of all their woes, but Monsieur Barnier is a very special one, the perfect enemy to loathe. Yeah, very, very professional and impartial. So, obviously, as I said, we have Andre Walker on the show. Andre has a new channel, as some of you have seen. Obviously, I'll put the link in the description, and towards the end of the video, I'll put the link up here as well, so you could actually subscribe. But he's just also announced a new video meeting sort of thing, where I'm going to let him actually explain. Andre, what's going on with your channel?
Yes, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. UK time, we're going to have our very first video conference. It's going to be on Zoom, and it's going to live stream on my channel. Obviously, link in the description. Maya, this is the first time I've attempted this. We're going to see how it goes. There might be one or two little technical hitches along the way. But as you know, I absolutely love responding to everyone's comments on my channel, even though there's kind of thousands and thousands of them. And I just thought this would be an easier way to interact with people than reply to all of it.
I mean, I like chaos, so I'm really hoping you get infiltrated by Remainers and lefties, so that'd be great.
Do you know, I'm sorry, just before we talk about Michel Barnier, I did do a little test run, and I enabled screen share without knowing, and a group of teenagers shared adult entertainment, and I had to just stop the whole thing. It was a complete disaster. But anyway, I digress.
Speaking of which, let's talk about Michel Barnier.
Do you know, I said this on my channel, the big problem with Michel Barnier is he was too clever by half. Look, that whole thing where he had the sequencing, which Theresa May, Ollie Robbins, idiotically agreed to. So just to recap, what happens is we had the so-called divorce before we had the future relationship. So what that meant was the United Kingdom gave away all of its negotiating position before we even discussed the future trade deal. Now, Michel Barnier thought he was clever when he did over Theresa May, but he didn't do over the British people. The British people will simply not wear it. And so what he has done is come up with a deal that is so outrageous, nobody's ever going to agree to it.
Yes, and I think this is the whole problem. I don't think they changed their tact since 2016. Well, since 2018, basically, when Theresa May got into trouble and when she had to leave. The whole problem with these guys is that from day one, they had one strategy. And they, as I said earlier, they harmonized and centralized everything give it to Michel Barnier's team to actually do it. They, every now and then they get the European Council, the European leaders to comment on it. Some people are involved. The Commission is involved. The only people who are not really involved, ironically, is the democratic part of the EU, the European Parliament. Is it on purpose, or is it just because the European Parliament is not a real parliament?
Yeah, I mean, the European Parliament's not a particularly serious body, although it is fair to say it's the only parliament in the world that's growing in power, admittedly from a low base. But look, I saw a great video by Nigel Farage in which he was talking about the fact that there was a deal between Barnier and Ollie Robbins, and Boris Johnson said that the deal was quote-unquote oven ready. We have effectively reneged on this. We've reneged on parallelism, or whether you want to call it a level playing field or dynamic alignment, the idea that the EU will make British law. But we have reneged on it. But always remember, that is because at the last general election, the pro-Europeans were wiped out. Now, admittedly, the Brexit Party didn't do that well, but the Conservatives right across this country were elected with thumping majorities. And so, that was a rejection of the old order. Now, look, we can have our criticisms of the Conservative Party, but either way, that general election was all about rejecting the Theresa May deal. Ironically, she was a Conservative Prime Minister, and saying we wanted to go for the hardest possible Brexit. Now, do you know something? I get people commenting all the time on my channel, I know you get it as well, with people saying, no deal. Look, if there is a sensible deal on the table, then fine. Yep. But the whole idea that we will continue to have our rules set by Brussels is just a non-starter. The idea that our territorial waters will be part of the immoral and ecologically disastrous common fisheries policy is a non-starter. So my own view is we might as well just can the negotiations and wait till we leave, because there will be a deal. But until we get over this parallelism and fishing rights nonsense, we're not going to get anywhere.
No, you're right. I think that's the whole point. We've always said if there's a good deal, and by good deal we just mean a trade deal, no political alignment. And the other problem I have is that in the mainstream media, people keep talking about how it's the EU that should give the UK a deal. At this point, we are still technically now a sovereign country. We are independent, obviously still technically aligned to the EU until December. But we are deciding for ourselves. So it's both sides giving each other a trade deal. That's one problem. It's the mainstream media that are not helping this the narrative. But on both sides, you got the media in Europe as well, who are talking about Britain becoming isolationist, and then in this country they're taking the EU side. But obviously tomorrow's video, guys, I've got some new information about David Frost, who's now going to confirm no deal, basically. He's kind of getting ready for that. So I think what Andre said, I'm pretty sure David Frost is watching these videos because Andre's advice is getting through.
Do you know something, Maya? Here was the big problem with this whole negotiation with Michel Barnier. Effectively, you couldn't get Remainers to negotiate on Britain's behalf. There's nothing wrong with people who voted to stay in the EU. But if you believed that Brexit was a problem that needed to be managed, you just weren't the guy to walk into the room. It needed to be somebody who believed that Brexit was a huge opportunity that we could grasp. Now, the establishment was defeated in the Brexit negotiation, but they should have signed the surrender treaty with the British public. Instead, they attempted to sign it with the European Union. That deal that Ollie Robbins negotiated was Britain's Treaty of Versailles.
Yes.
What was it, 39 billion, not for a trade deal, but to negotiate the negotiations for a trade deal.
Just for the divorce.
Crazy.
I know, just for the divorce. And I think this is the whole point of it. I mean, you got one issue, which is the people who've been saying this. You got the Remainers and Remoaners are two different types of people, and the majority of the Remainers have just accepted. We've always talked about this anyway. But then you got the new European law, this new fake newspaper, which I wonder how long it's going to last. Also, who do you think gets more readers, the New European or the Guardian?
or my niece's 10-year-old book, right? I mean, it's nonsense, isn't it? But I'll tell you the thing that I don't understand. And look, I don't follow Terry Christian on Twitter. But what amazes me is just the obsession of these people. Look, I voted to leave the EU. I would have been disappointed if we'd have remained in the EU, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world for me. And most people just see it like that. But literally, there are some people who believe that, mankind is going to collapse. Nobody, not even Guy Verhofstadt, thinks that the EU is absolutely marvellous and can't do anything wrong. And yet you get that comedian Stuart Lee, who just sort of, they're almost suicidal. I don't understand it.
No.
I can't see what they see in this project.
Well, the thing is, you said Brexit is not a problem. I say Brexit is a problem for the EU. Even Michel Barnier has said that, it's going to cause trouble after basically December when the UK becomes independent, especially if there's no deal. It will definitely damage the Eurozone and the unity of this family.
That's not Brexit. It's the fact the EU is a really bad idea.
Exactly.
And the problem is, we have left because the EU is a bad idea.
Yes.
Us leaving demonstrates the EU is a bad idea. But that's not the fault of Brexit.
No.
That's the fault of these Euro fanatics who have just insist on pushing forward this project. Every time the EU finds itself even more unpopular, people turn around and go, if only the public understood. Is it possible the public fully understand the EU and think it's crap?
I know, absolutely. I don't know if I should censor that moment, but it's fine. I think one word is fine. But you on your channel cover this, and obviously you cover a lot of other things as well. A lot of things that I don't cover either. Most of some of you have subscribed to Andre's channel. For the rest of you, do it, because why not? I'll put the link in the description, but also on top of us somewhere here. Because as I said, Andre is starting his video conference things on Wednesday. That's going to come. What else are we going to do? We're going to do our Sunday podcast for the members of this channel.
Sunday podcast. I always look forward to it. Now, the only thing is, I've only got a bottle of water today. I've not got any beer, which is a disgrace, really. Oh, yes. Well done. Well done.
Glenfiddich.
I always enjoy doing this, and I know that so many people enjoy watching it as well. And look, what is it? £5 to subscribe to the channel or to join a month? I mean, it's not a big deal.
No.
And we can have so much fun on the Sunday show, because obviously I just used a very minor expletive there, but we can say absolutely anything on the behind the paywall.
If you want to see a fun version of this, go on the link, or just go on youtube.com/myexcuses/join. Become a member. Watch our Sunday video podcast. There's also a lot of other exclusive content and perks that you guys would get. As some of you know, as of Monday, we are officially launching our new schedule. So on this channel, we're going to have a daily show and various other things. And Andre is going to be involved, obviously, and obviously on his channel as well. So don't forget to subscribe again. And Andre, we got the new merch coming. So I've got yours in the post. So soon it's going to arrive. We are the media.
What's it say?
We are the media. Oh, I can't.
Oh, I want it. I want it.
Yeah, so I'll send you one. Well, when you come here for a pint, I'll get you.
So
one.
how do you buy them? How do you buy them?
So the link to the shop is also in the description, but also on the homepage of YouTube, we got all the tabs, video, playlist, and community, and all that. There's one called Store. I think it will be enabled later on today or tomorrow. So hopefully when the videos goes out, it's there. But otherwise, the link is in the description, guys. Check it out. Get your merch. Wear it out and anger the socialists. Andre and I are going to go get ready for our Sunday video podcast. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.